going to work the Americana. Can I borrow you? We're going to start it, I'm going to introduce it to you guys from cross sides, and then we'll take it from mount. You guys know why the Brazilians call this the Americana?
And I used to get wrestlers with this all the time.
They learned it from a wrestler. Oh. So this version of the arm lock is not very common in Japanese. They're more inclined to attack this way. So I think they picked it up from Bob Anderson. Oh. And that's why they call it the Americana. So, like, I'll take my weight off you while I'm talking. Like Howder says, if you guys come, he talks about this often, but it's Japanese in origin, heavily modified by the Brazilians, and then now heavily influenced by Americans. And by that I mean wrestling. So a lot of what we do posture-wise is Greco. And some of these are old catch wrestling submissions. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna catch the wrist here, and the other hand comes underneath like this. Is your shoulders okay?
Yeah, they're tight.
Yeah, I can see it's super tight. So if my wrist is like this, it's easier for him. If I grab like this, or you see how my palm is bent up like that, and they're strong, you'll straighten the arm out. Straighten your arm, yeah, and you'll lose it. So when I grab monkey grip without the thumb, and I try and turn my wrist down, just like almost if you're arm wrestling somebody, same idea. So my catch is like that. And this does the same thing. Like that, okay? He's gonna wanna bump me so that he can get his elbow inside. So if he bumps me this way and he gets his elbow inside, I've lost it. So my connection here is very important. I'll have more leverage to break his arm the closer I get to the elbow. So, but it's also just a short little bump for them to escape. So between those two, I opt for control. So I keep my other arm down here, okay? This hooks, and now the secret here is you want to keep, I've got Justin's arm off the mat because I can feel he has very tight shoulders, but you want to keep the back of their hand on the mat and then slide it down like it's a paintbrush. That's the motion, okay? So I have Justin do it to me real quick. From cross sides, go on this side. So if he lets my hand up, go ahead and take it, but don't put my hand on the mat. And we're in here. This is much more, I mean, he's still got a lot of leverage, but this is much more of an arm wrestle here. If I'm very strong, right, and you're going to be battling. He gets my hand to the mat, and now it's much better. And now you pretend that this is a paintbrush, and he wants to paint the back of the mat, or the mat with the back of my hand. That's it, like that. Now if he lifts it up, and watch how much he has to turn to get the tap all the way here, 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 here. And that's how much movement I have, right? He keeps my hand on the mat and slowly slides it down, and that's how much I have. It's barely any, right? So your wrists are turned, monkey grip, he's in tight, so if I bump him, I'm not gonna lose it. The back of my hand, if they're flexible enough, always stays on the mat, and you paint the mat with the back of their hand like a paintbrush. That's it. And so really all he has to do should be, if you do all those details, it's very little motion for most people, even if they have flexible shoulders, right? And put it on slow at first because some people don't have flexible shoulders.
So does this one have to be initiated from side control?
No.
Okay.
We're going to do it from mount, but I just think it's easier to learn how to do it perfectly from side control. And then I'm going to show you how to do it, catch it from, you're already in a position, if you were able to hold that wrist there for 5 seconds, you're already in a position where you can finish with this. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but let's just make sure we got the lockdown. Okay, let's go. Okay, good, look here. Now we're going to work the exact same submission from mount, and your partner's just going to let you put it on, and then we're going to backtrack and figure out how to get it in a minute, right? So here I want my elbow close to his head. Same thing, I catch the wrist, my wrist is bent, and I've grabbed without the thumb, like monkey paw, okay? This hand comes under and grabs. I keep the back of that hand on the mat, not up here, and I'm gonna slowly slide that hand down like I'm painting the mat. That's a submission, okay? Exact same thing. Everything's nice and tight here. Again, he's gonna wanna bump me this way. And if I have that good connection between the back of his tricep is snug up against my bicep here, then it'll be good. If I'm loose here, he bumps and pulls his elbow in. If he pulls his elbow in, I don't have a submission. But go to pull your elbow in now. Just from that position, because I've got it nice and tight there, trying to bring it in. That's what's going to be the finish. And then again, hand on the mat, slowly down. Some people, you can do it from here, and some people you can't. Right? There'll be very flexible people here, and you'll get, they just won't tap with the arm on this side of the head. So we want the arm on this side of the head for now. Okay, let's do it. Back and forth. Now, let's talk about taking that Americana, okay? He's in kind of a boxing hand position, and I'm going to take it from middle mount. So I would be up here underneath the elbows. We'd be in a position like this, right? And if I just tell Justin, don't let me pin your hand to the mat, this becomes very difficult. If I get a little higher, I have a little more leverage, but again, don't let me get your hand to the mat, right? And then it becomes super hard. So we don't lead with the wrist. I'm going to lead with my elbow, right? So I'm going to drop my elbow down like this and get it down that way, okay? So this becomes even impossible. A lot of the old school guys will teach with your body weight. So they'll go here and then you lay on it. And that can work, but I'm a lot bigger than Justin. And if I tell him not to let me do that, it's still no way, right? But if I go with my elbow, I get it. If I'm looking away, he bridges. I can actually just post here with my head. And the other thing is it changes the posture of my body. Here you see how my spine is kind of rounded and easier, and here I'm upright. My spine is straighter, much harder for him, because he can't roll me that way. It's all my weight's over here, so he's got to go this way. It's much harder for him now if he explodes this way, just from my posture alone, because my head's up, for that to work. Okay, we're going to finish now with taking it from what we've been playing from low mount. There's a lot of jiu-jitsu coaches that don't like the Americana. Sometimes it gets one of the reputation as being more of a big guy's move, which it's not. But it is harder to get on somebody that's bigger and stronger than, say, a straight arm lock. It can be, right, if you don't know how to get it. But if you approach the way we're showing, then you can make it work. But 5 or 6 years ago, I went around for a year in all my seminars, and all I taught was low mount for 2 days, which was this my curriculum. We're working tonight. And to a person, every time I would go and I would get to this part of the seminar, we would do live rounds at the end of 2 days. Pretty much everybody in the seminar was able to finish everybody else with the Americana using this setup, okay? So it's pretty simple. You're working your low mount. Make sure you're not grapevining the legs, right? Your soles of your feet are together. You're out here like this. You get a hand behind the head and you're bringing a wrist up, or you're able to pin it. So we get to one of these two positions that we've been working tonight, right? You feed it to the other hand. Notice I grab it monkey grip, right? And now I hang on to it. And it's hard for him to get it back. Once you feed it to this arm, it's very difficult to get it back. Then I thread it. Notice the whole time I'm looking away. And then and I keep this tight so it doesn't, when he bumps, it doesn't get loose, right? So I don't lose it. So it's tricep resting between my forearm and my bicep. I have good connection there. And then when I'm ready to go, leaving my elbow almost on the mat, I just take a little weight off it and I circle it to the other side. Okay, because like I said, some people you won't be able to finish them from here. But I'm looking away, and then when I feel the time is right, I go here and then it's done. Okay, so you catch it somehow, you feed it to this hand, you take your grip, everything's locked in and ready to go. You take your time here because it's hard for them to get their arm back. So it gives you time to make sure you have a good connection. Everything's looking good. And in one motion, you just swing the arm all the way snug to the other side of his head. Okay, let's practice that back and forth. Go ahead. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for frequent updates because we're updating this every week. And make sure you comment and like and share our videos. We appreciate it, and we definitely try and respond to all the comments. And if you like what we're doing and you like the material, check out SBG University, SBGU, and you're going to see a ton more in much greater depth than what you see here on YouTube. Thank you very much.